Well, hi folks, I'm going to do a bit of carve some holes out on this to make a pierce pot, as we call them. I'll just show you the tool I'm going to use. It's just a hacksaw blade, filed down and sharpened up to a really narrow blade, fine point. All I've done is put a couple of little scratch marks on just for the guide for the width, and then the rest of it, it's just going to be just do it until we get to the other side and hope they match. So like I say, I'm just going to use my little tool like this. I don't know whether you get to see me because it's quite difficult getting a camera view in, but we'll give it a go. So I'm going to do two different shapes. I don't know whether the clay's quite the right hardness. You don't want it too hard and you don't want it too soft. This is a bit on the soft side. So I'm just going to start off making a load of that sort of shape for the first row. It's quite easy once you get the hang of it, as long as your clay's the right hardness and you've got a nice sharp sort of thin blade. So like I say, I'm just going to go all the way around. When I get to just about the other side, I'll try and sort of get them to fit in. Like I say, I don't measure anything. So we'll go around. You can do loads of different shapes. There's no fixed pattern. So I've got a space there for two now, I think. So if I just sort of work it out, do one there, split the difference. So that's the first row done, the first line of them, sort of equally spaced. So now I'm just going to cut the bits out in between. This is where it gets a bit trickier, because you're getting down into really thin clay now. So the idea is to try and throw your pot as thin as you can, because it doesn't look very good if it's really thick and when you cut holes out, because there's no delicacy to it then. And it's not exactly a fancy pot. You can make any shaped pots you like, but they're generally better when they're smaller, because like I say, then you can make the walls quite thin and they do look quite delicate then. So this is where it gets a bit tricky now, because you're coming up to the end. You've done all this and you don't want to just make a slit with the knife and cut through it. So once I've cut these out, I'll dry them out quite slowly, because there are some quite thin pieces of clay and you don't want them to possibly crack. So I'll cover them in polythene for a week or so, and they'll just dry out slowly and they should be okay. Right, we're coming to the last one now. This is where you don't want to mess it up. That's the last one, and that's that. So what we'll do with that, I'll put a little candle in and just sell them as like a little candle holder. So anyway, that's a little bit of piercing done. Give it a go. Just try any sort of little pot and get a nice little fine blade and just give it a go. That's it then, folks.